All right, welcome to Lab 7 of AZ-204. And the title of the lab is Access Resource Secrets More Securely Across Services. Basically, what we're doing here is we're going to create a small application which uses a key vault for storing secrets instead of what we've been doing until now, where we've just stored the secrets in the code or in resource files, which is something that we don't really want to do. We just did it for simplicity purposes, to be able to quickly show you how other functionalities in Azure are working. But yeah, so this time we're trying to do this in a more proper way. And there's a nice architecture diagram in the lab instructions available on the GitHub page. So the first thing that we need to do over here is create a storage account. So let's quickly do that. In my lab environment, I think I already have a pre-created resource group. Yep, I'm just going to use that. Create a new one if you have to. We're going to call it Secure Store. It's going to be in East US. We're happy with standard performance, and we're happy with locally redundant storage. That should be it. All right, the storage account has been deployed. Now we're again going to go and get a connection string from here. So it's under here, security and networking, then access keys. And I'm always using key 1. I can use either. Just copying down this connection string. I'm putting it into my Visual Studio Code over here as previously. No, that was interesting. Let's try that again. Copy. Yeah, that's better. All right. So then let's create the key vault. Create a key vault. We're going to use the same resource group here. Then we're going to give it a name. Secure vault. East US and standard is going to be okay for us. With access configuration, what we want to do here is we want to use a vault access policy just because it's easier in the lab environment. And then we create that. All right, that's done. So next up, let's create a function. And for our purposes, we're going to use the consumption hosting plan. Resource group is going to be the same one. We're going to give it a name, secure function. Our runtime stack is going to be .NET 8. And then we're going to run it in East US and on a Linux environment. Okay. Additionally, here in the storage account, we're going to use the secure storage that we had created previously. Then we can review and create. All right, and that's done. So let's go and take a look at our function app. So here, if we go over to settings on the left-hand side, there's a setting for identity. And what we want to use here is use a system assigned managed identity, right? So this way, this function itself has got an identity. Then let's save that. So that's done. Then let's go over to our secure vault. It's over here. And let's create a secret here. They're here under object secrets. This is going to be a manual secret. We're going to call it the storage credentials. And as the secret value, we're going to use the connection string that we got previously. Just checking that I got everything here. Right. All right. I think, yeah, we should be good otherwise. So the secret has been created. Now we can go to the secret and you can actually see that there are multiple versions of it. So this is the current version. And if we click on that, then we can see the actual identifier. So this is what we need when we want to read the secret. I'm just going to copy paste that over here. And then we could also see the value from here. I'll copy it if needed. So next, let's create an access policy for this one. So let's go back to our vault. Here we have access policies. And what we want to do is create a new one. So we want it to be able to get the secret. So that's this one, right? Secret, not key, not certificate, and get. All right. And the principal that we want to give this to is going to be our secure function, remember? So we should be able to find it here. Now mine is a specific number, and we got it there. Okay, so we're giving that secure function the permission to get the secret from the key vault. All right, perfect. If we go back to the function, there is some automation here available for us, especially if we're in the .NET environment. So this is our function app here. And then under settings, we have environment variables, right? And then we have this app settings thing. So these are the environment variables that are set when our function app is actually running. And now we can add the secret as a environment variable here. So as the name, we're going to set a storage connection string. So that's the thing that our function app is then later going to try to read. And then as the value, we're actually going to use something a bit different. So we're going to say at, okay, let's see if I can do that. Yeah, at Microsoft.keyvault, and then the secret URI equals the URI that we just copied earlier on, right? So this one. Like that. All right, so apply. So this will automatically populate. Go and get the secret from the key vault and then populate it into the environment variable. All right, so let's apply these changes. Yeah, restart, blah, 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 blah. And then finally, we can start to work with the code itself. All right, so I should have the lab stuff pre-installed here under labs 7 starter func. I don't need them anymore. I have everything down. And it's an empty directory, as you can see. So let's open up a terminal and then initialize our function. That's func init. The worker runtime is going to be .NET isolated, right? The target framework was .NET 8. And we're just going to use false in case there's something already there. Oops, had an extra dot there. All right, so now the project has been created. Let's just quickly build it to see that everything is okay. That's done. So then let's create a function that is triggered by a HTTP request. We're going to use that template, and we're going to call it file parser. Right. So now everything should be in place. So let's take a look at the local settings JSON. Here we have the runtime set up, and we could put up a storage connection string in here, but let's not give it any real value. I'm rather interested in something like this, test value, right? Come on now. All right, then let's go to our file parser function. Entry point is here. So yeah, HTTP response data run, HTTP trigger, authorization level function get post, HTTP data. Request data, request, that's right. Then, okay, yeah, let's log that. And then let's create a response. Okay, header is add content type text plain, UTF-8, right? And then let's maybe just write out the connection string for now, right? Over here, let's say string connection string equals environment get environment variable, and the variable that we wanted was called storage connection string, right? Okay, so that's cool. And then let's just write that out. So okay, yeah, back to the terminal then. And let's try it out. Okay, let's use a separate command prompt to run curl -x get -i http localhost, and the port was 7071. Oops. 7071 API file parser, right? Right? Not patser, parser. And it works. It gives us back that test value that we used previously. Okay. So back to code. Let's kill that function. There we go. Then let's deploy this to Azure. So we first have to log in. There we go. And then let's publish the function. So func Azure function app publish. And then we need the name. Mine was really complicated. Copy paste it out. There we go. And then we want to say version 8.0. All right, now it should be there. So if we go to the overview, and then we scroll down to functions, we can see the file parser function is now in place. And click on that. And then we get to this code and test pane. What I can do here is do a test run. I'm going to do the same thing as we did locally, right? We're going to get, and then just click on run. And there you see. What did we get back? Not our test value, but rather the URL to use for connecting to the storage account from our key store. All right, so let's try to actually use this. Right, this was just a kind of a demo. So let's put something into our storage account. So for that, we need to first create a container. I'm going to call it a drop, a little bit like Dropbox. Let's get in there. And then let's upload something. So I'm supposed to have a JSON file. Yeah, records.json here. I'll upload that. Now let's get the URL for the blob. So that's over here. I'm going to write that down. Okay, and this of course looks like an HTTP URL. So like if we try to access that specific URL, like this, it will just give us an error, public access not permitted, right? So we need to have that key, which is in the connection URL for the storage account to be able to actually, get access to this file. Okay, so let's go back to our code. And now we need to add the Blob storage API or library. So .NET add package, and we want to have azure.storage.blobs. And for our purposes, we're going to use version 12.18.0. All right. Then let's take a look at our code. So now instead of just writing down the response as a response to connection string, we want to use that connection string and then access our storage account. We're going to need a couple of additional imports here. I'm going to do Azure storage blobs, and then Azure storage blobs models. Okay. So now let's get a bit more space. So everything else is the same, right? So we still get the connection string from an environment variable, but now we're going to use that connection string to actually create a blob client, right? So I'm going to do blob client, blob, new blob client, and we need to give it as parameters the connection string. It's good. Then the container name is drop, and then the blob we want to get is going to be records.json, right? All right. Then we download that. So download result. Result equals blob dot download content. Okay, and so then we've got it, and then we can just basically write that out. Okay, so it's going to be download result dot content, and then we take it to string. That should work, and then we return it. All right, so that's our new code now. So let's make sure that we can deploy it. Func Azure function app publish, and then like the name again. Here is the function name. And then we need to remember to say dot version .NET version, yeah, 8.0. All right, so now that's done. Now we go back here to our function, and then we run the test against it, just the get. Now what we should get back is the actual contents of that file instead of just the URL, and that's exactly what we're getting here, right? Yeah. So it's a collection of records from that JSON file. Perfect. That's everything we got for you in this lab. I hope it made sense with regards to how to access secrets like connection strings from Key Vault and then automatically populate them into environment variables that your function can then access to make sure that you're not distributing those keys all over the place. Thanks for listening. Remember to remove your resource group to make sure that you're not getting charged for anything extra, and see you in your next lab. Till then.